Welcome everyone to the RTV MHS Rewind Studios here on the campus of Martinsville High School for Inside Martinsville Football. I'm your host Eric Meyer, joined as always by Artesian head coach, getting ready to start his third year, Brian Duggar. Coach, again, thanks for joining us.
It's always a good time to be on the show.
We've got a good show for you coming up on the premiere edition of 2022 Inside Martinsville Football. The Artesians getting ready to kick off the season Friday night, tonight, on the road at Bedford North Lawrence, and we're actually recording this at about 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon, so we're kind of cutting it close. Normally we'll do it earlier in the week, so the coach, we thank him really a lot for coming in and helping us do this here today as he gets ready for game number 1 on the season. A lot to talk about, like we talked about B&L, the opening game. We'll get to that later in the show, but a lot of guys coming back this season on the offense and defense, special teams as well. Let's talk on the side of the ball that everybody wants to talk about and what you're known for, the offense. You've got a great group of kids coming back this year on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, like I've said it a lot this year, and that's really the term that it's the payoff year. It's kind of the build up to what we've seen for 3 years now. We've got 4 or 5 guys that have seen 3 years of varsity action. You look at Luke Cheatham, Garrett Skaggs on the outside. Those are guys that have been 3-year starters. Tyler Atkins coming back as a quarterback who's well over 2.5 years as a starter. And then we've got a couple guys up front like Luke Edwards and Aiden Willison that have seen time, again, for 3 years. So we got a lot of guys returning, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. We did the numbers. We have over 11 guys that saw varsity action last year returning. So that's good news for your offense.
When you start talking about your offense, and you're known for the passing game, that's what you came in for, but also the running game has been strong. Your teams have always taken what the other teams have given, and we've talked about Tyler at quarterback, your receivers you have coming back, but a guy that you got back in the backfield, saw a couple of starts late in the season is Braden Shrake, and he kind of brings that different dimension to your ball club.
And what you said, take what's given. A lot of that falls on Tyler. A lot of what we do offensively, we a lot of RPOs and stuff. Our quarterback's making a lot of those decisions. But if we're doing that, he's taking what we're given. I do think our offense, our run game specifically, has a chance to be really, really good this year. Braden came on late last year, exploded, I think, over 400, 500 yards at the end of the year, left for the final 4 games, 6 touchdowns, and we're excited for what he can bring running the ball and kind of be explosive back there. But he also brings something we haven't had since I've been here. We've had really good running backs, but haven't been the best pass catchers, and that's something that Braden's really good at. So he runs good routes, catches the ball, kind of brings a whole different dynamic to our offense.
So let's look at the Artesian offense, and like we said, what really that the coach is known for and what he's been known for over the years at being at Southport first as the offensive coordinator, then here in his 3rd year at Martinsville High School. But let's flip to the other side of the football as well, if you will. You're not going to be able to replace one of the best defensive players that you've had here in probably Martinsville history, and that was Western Pemberton, who's moved on and graduated. But you do have some guys back, and when you start talking about your defense, you probably start on your linebackers. That's a good group that's coming back next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you can't replace Weston. He's hands down the best defensive player I've ever coached. So you can't replace him with one person. It's going to take a unit. And I think our defense has a chance to be better than it was last year. I think they're going to grow. They're going to be young, and it's going to take a few games, but I think they have a chance as a whole to be better. Obviously, Devin Brenner, like you said, at linebacker is going to be one of the focal points. He's a captain. He's going to be one of the people that's kind of helping that young defense grow. We returned 2 other starters at linebacker, Quentin Bland and Stevie Drake. Up front, we took some hits, but again, I really like Nick Crone. I think he's a kid that's led us in sacks last year, and I think he has a chance to have a really good year on putting quarterback pressures, and he's kind of become a pretty good leader up front, and we're excited to see what he can do with some of those younger guys. And then corner-wise, I feel like we returned 2 really solid players as well, and Trevor Hott and Logan Poppy. So it's really just kind of getting some of those young guys to kind of grow up quickly and join in with those guys, and I think we could have a really good year defensively too.
Well, you talk about 2 of the 3 components, the offense, the defense. Well, you've already got a good one coming back on special teams as well. And your kicker,
Ethan's one of the best kickers in the state. Again, probably the best kicker I've ever coached. And he'll we trust him from wherever, pretty much kicking the ball. He's great off the tee. He's great, field goals. He's a weapon, is what he is. And he's actually going to punt for us this year too. So he's an all-around really good kicker.
That answered my other question. So the punter as well. Western did a lot of those duties last year for you, among other things, for your ball club. You guys have been really practicing year-round,
Yeah.
if you will. I mean,
Since
football's a
December, probably,
year-round
yeah.
sport, but you get some extra time in the summer as well, a little, relegated a little bit, regulated, if you will, by the IHSA. But let's talk a little bit about the summer and how things went for your club during those summer
Yeah,
months.
we had a great summer. Our kids showed up. They worked hard. We got better every single day. We were in 3 days a week, getting after it in the weight room, on the field. You're allowed 12 padded practices in the summer, 5 scrimmages, and we used them. We had some really good scrimmages this summer that I think are going to help prepare us for different types of teams we're going to see this year. So overall, the summer was great for us. I like where we're at. We were kind of joking around in the coach's office that first practice in August. There used to be a lot of excitement about that. That's not the case anymore. It's just another day for these guys. We've been going since May and with pads and stuff. So for them, it's just another practice. But we're excited to go against somebody else tonight.
You've had a couple of weeks of practice, like you said, the
Yeah.
preseason
Yeah.
practice now after the summer. How those days gone for your club now that the kids have kind of got back into school and kind of got back into a little bit of a different routine
Yeah.
than normal daily routine, if you will?
Yeah, I don't think there's been much of a difference in practice. Obviously, your practices are a little more structured to who you're going to see. Summer and the first week of the preseason are a little bit more about fundamentals and us, whereas we've kind of made that shift to start focusing against an opponent. But no, it really hasn't been much difference. I've noticed that the kids are a little tired. Some of that's probably just getting used to a schedule of going to bed a little earlier, getting up for school instead of sleeping in a little bit. But I think they've adjusted fine. I think we've had really good practices.
Really good practices, getting ready for the opener coming up tonight on the road against the Bedford North Lawrence Stars. Last week, though, you were able to get a chance to hit somebody else in a different colored jersey. You travel over perennial power Columbus East to battle the Olympians, and we've got some highlights from the scrimmage over there that Luke Cheatham is going to go ahead and roll right now. We'll take a look at some of those highlights, and we'll start with us on offense here.
A little sprint out here for Tyler hitting Garrett there. We didn't do too much offensively. We kind of just ran some base plays, kept it simple. But one of the things that I liked was I thought we were able to run the ball. I thought we were able to establish some stuff. And like you said, Columbus East is usually pretty good. They were down a little bit last year, but I know they're up front. Their coaches are really good. So I kind of know what they can do up front. And if we're winning the line of scrimmage a lot in this scrimmage, that's a good sign for us.
Seeing some there of Tyler Atkins, Luke Cheatham there. We had one run earlier by Braden Shrake. Here's another one.
Yeah, again, I said Braden kind of has that dynamic where he can pop one at any time, and he's got really, really good vision. You saw there, kind of stood there, run the ladder there. Just a really good job with that, and he's pretty good at it. There's, like to see that 4 or 5 guys flying to the football. Again, Devin Brenner doing his job, flowing over top, and like I said, we like right there, Nick Crone there getting pressure. He'll be able to hit him on this Friday. But that one had to pull up there. But I think that's something Nick can really, really do for us. He can get after the quarterback pretty well. And there's Daniel Ham's a kid that we moved to defensive line. He's kind of been everywhere since I've got here. He was an H-back, he was a running back, he was a linebacker, and now we've kind of found a home for him at defensive end, and he's getting better every single time. Both corners challenged there. You saw Poppy on the first one. There's Hot there. Again, I think our corners could be pretty good. One nice thing about the scrimmage is, we kind of treat it in essence like a preseason game, so our starters don't play a ton. They get about 10 to 15 plays, and then we make sure our JV and freshmen are getting lots of reps, and this is really good for them to get that. Some of these guys, they're one play away from that happening, so it's important that they're ready to go, and this is just a good opportunity for that.
So nice play on the offensive side for Bo Dilly, who's in here as well. A few couple of plays ago.
Big hit here again by Daniel. So he's another one that I think as the season goes on, he's got a chance to have a really good year of getting after the quarterback too.
Now, did you have a set amount of plays you wanted to come in and play things, or you just kind of go by feel, or how did that work?
So we scripted it. We scripted out what each kid would play. Each kid was kind of set for a number, and some guys needed more reps than others. Here's a nice ball there by Bo Dilly, going over top.
Who's that with the
Mason Dotson there, freshman.
Right, yeah.
So we've got a few freshmen out there with us as well. I think Bo said that was too easy. So
You came out too easy, too easy.
There's Jay Safari, another freshman getting some reps with us. So Like I said, this scrimmage is really good for these opportunities. There again,
Was that a replay?
Yeah,
No, that's a new one.
That may have been the one he said too easy on. I can't remember. But yeah, again, it's just a great opportunity for young guys to get a lot of reps because they're the ones who really need it. And some of these are guys that are going to play on Friday nights, but are maybe kind of what we call like a 1A. They're kind of in that first group, but they're subbing in. Not going to see as many reps as the starters. So it's just a good experience for them to kind of get those reps.
Said young kids getting a little bit of a different feel too, as well.
And you bring in the freshman quarterback and let him sling it again to Mason Dotson, as you can see. Mason's got a chance to have a pretty good career here as a receiver. He's a kid kind of knocking on the door as a freshman, so
that's 3 scores right there in the scrimmage. I mean,
here's another one. Lucas Dewey. He's had a great summer. He's kind of played multiple positions. He's a kid that could see a little Friday night action. Again, we have a really good freshman class. We're excited about what they can bring. Like I said, I think some of them can help us on Friday nights here and there.
Running down here at the end. Is that Bo in there again, handing off?
Yeah, Bo handing off to Caden Collier.
All right. I think this is the last one coming up, and we might as well end it with a little bit of have yourself a day there.
Mason Dotson,
another interception.
Yeah.
All right, 3 TDs and an interception in the scrimmage, not bad. But overall, when you go back and assess that, how do you think you guys performed overall?
And again, some of the mistakes we make are because we don't really prep for it. Like Bedford, we've been practicing all week for it. Columbus East, we're focused on us. It's about doing our job right, getting better every single rep. So we don't really dive into too much of the mistakes as far as scheme goes. It's more fundamental mistakes that we're looking at and kind of assignments. Overall, I thought we had a really good scrimmage. We won the scrimmage because we came out healthy. That's the number one thing.
Come out healthy. Get ready this week as you're going to play the Bedford North Lawrence Stars. Now, this is a Bedford ball club. You had a little bit of an inside track the last year or so with Coach Weber, and who used to be the head coach here, now is a defensive coach and with your ball club. But what can we expect out of Bedford? Is he being able to help a little bit still, or do we have a little bit of a different scheme or look that we're going to see out of the Stars?
So the scheme is definitely different for sure. They're doing a lot of things differently. Offensively, they're spreading it out now. They're an air attack team. They're not the old option team of Steve Weber's days. They're throwing around 4 or 5 wide receivers. Defensively, it's kind of the same. They've made a few tweaks since he left, but for the most part, it's the same defense. But the big thing is he knows the kids still. So that's been one nice thing is, we've been able to look down at the reports, and he's been able to kind of say, okay, this kid's this kid's got that, and we kind of get a breakdown of who he felt like were the better players and guys that are going to be holes or weaknesses for them.
They had a pretty good controlled scrimmage against Mitchell. Scored, I think, 8 times, gave up 1 score. Quarterback threw it for a lot, ran it for a lot. When you talk about their offense, I'm guessing you're going to start talking with their quarterback.
Yeah. The Loudon kid's pretty good. He's made strides. You can tell he works at his craft. I felt that. He's a kid. I know, like Tyler attends a lot of camps and does a lot of stuff. My guess would be that this kid's kind of the same because he's kind of polished, and I think he throws a pretty good ball. I think he's pretty accurate, and I think they've got a couple weapons outside that are pretty good. So I think they're going to have some success this year offensively. Hopefully not week 1, but I think they're going to have some success on offense.
Yeah, we don't want to see any of that success week number 1, and you mentioned a little bit, spread it out a little bit more rather than that option attack. Is it going to be kind of like looking in a mirror coming up on Saturday or Friday, or is it a little bit different? What are we going to see as they spread it out on Friday?
We do some similar things. We're not a true air raid team, but a lot of our passing concepts are air raid principles. So, we kind of have some similar things. It's been nice at practice. We can kind of give our defense a look without really having to do too much. But we do a lot more RPOs, a lot more things that they don't do, or at least haven't shown, or we don't expect them to do. We get out there and they can do all that, so we'll see. But I think you'll see kind of a sling it from there, whereas we're more take what's given to us.
When you look on the defensive side of the ball, what scheme, what formations are we going to see out of the Stars on Friday?
Yeah, this is going to be similar because they run a 3-3 stack.
Okay.
That's what we've got to see all summer long. They run a little bit differently than we do. Our defense has a call that they kind of run theirs base out of. But for the most part, it's just a 3-3 stack that we're prepared for and we've seen all summer long.
I know when you come into these opening couple of weeks that you focused on these other teams, but you're also really focusing on you guys. But I'm still going to ask, as we do every week, what are the keys for you guys offensively and defensively to get that all-important week number 1 W.
Yeah, I think on the offensive side of the ball, it's the big thing's going to be we got to take what we're given. And I hope Tyler's listening to this, but take what's given to you. If we take
he's back there.
I know. If
He's
we
got thumbs up.
if we take care of the ball, I think we're going to be hard to stop on offense, and that's not just this game. That's every game. So if we take care of the ball, and a lot of times us taking care of the ball is just taking what's given to us, I think we'll have a good night on offense. Defensively, I think our big thing is going to be we got to get after the quarterback a little bit and make him uncomfortable. He can't just sit back there and pick us apart. We got to prevent the big play. If we do those two things, I think if we can make them earn everything they have to, go the whole length of the field, I think eventually we can get to the quarterback enough to cause problems.
All right, Coach, as always, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck there on Friday night.
Hey, I appreciate it. It's always fun coming on.
All right, that's Artesian head coach Brian Duggar here inside Martinsville football. Opening contest of the season coming up tonight on the road at Bedford North Lawrence. Get out there, 7 o'clock kickoff. It's white out, so wear white there as the Artesians try to wipe out the Bedford North Lawrence Stars tonight in their opener. As always, we'd like to thank the head coach for coming in, and we'd like to thank the guys in here producing it. We had Luke Cheatham, Tyler Atkins, Bo Dilley, along with Jackson Turner. For all those students and the head coach Brian Duggar, I'm Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Martinsville Football.